Hey guys, how are you? I hope that it's going good for you. So, we just got back from an injection and it wasn't me. So, because of that, obviously, I need to support as best as I can. So, I wanted to show you a little bit about what I do have to do, stovetop of any kind, because it does help. I'm trying to get all my ingredients down or gathered. Where's it at? I'm looking for my bacon. There it is. So before I even start cooking, I get all my ingredients gathered. I'm making my husband some egg sandwiches. And to me, it's just easier to make sure that everything is close together before I start, because I will have to sit down while I'm waiting for the egg to cook. So, and I actually, no, I'll be all right. So normally I do have to sit while I'm cooking, but I'm not going to because I've not been. I will be right back. Okay, sorry about that. I had to make sure I was going to be able to get through this, as I didn't like cooking before I got hurt, and I definitely don't like it now. So anyways, one of my biggest rules with cooking is my dog is not allowed inside. And that's mainly because, you're going to have dog hair flying around. That's gross. Just absolutely gross. So while I'm waiting for my pan to heat up, I am going to put some bacon grease in there. And that's really the only reason we use bacon grease, is for flavoring in eggs. I honestly don't care to eat bacon for religious and biblical reasons. And no, I don't even eat shellfish. That's just my personal preference. I've tried lobster, but the idea of it being like a cockroach of the sea, yeah, I pay attention to what the animal eats for the most part. And I've never been a huge fan of bacon, because knowing that they'll eat anything is actually kind of gross. Now, one of the good things about having a small kitchen is I can get my chair up here so that I can sit to do the things that I need to do. And sometimes I'll even work at the table because it just makes it easier for me. So I got that heating. While that's heating, I'm gonna get the bread ready to go, so that when it's done, I don't have to worry about all this and let the egg get cold. Oops, sorry, I'm trying to move too fast. And turn that down. And I don't normally eat breakfast food because I actually drink these. They are very filling. They're protein drinks. The cheapest is Equate. I love them. So I'm going to go ahead and get his sandwich ready to go. And I tend to like to use spatulas. I'm sure most of you may already have this down. But because I can't stand, that's one thing I love about having a small kitchen, is I have chairs close to me. And even if you don't have a small kitchen, go get your seated walker. If you don't have one, you can ask your PCP for one. They do help in more than just walking. Just a moment. So my grease is melted. I'm gonna get that egg on there. I need my spatula. And I even bought a pancake spatula that's flat up here, as it is a lot easier to fit my eggs. So get that on there, break up the yolk. And this is what I'm doing, and I only do one egg at a time. It makes a great egg sandwich. And then I'm going to go ahead and put my seasonings on it. Yeah, y'all probably know how to make eggs, but not everybody does it this way. And some people I've ran into actually like these methods. And I'm going to go ahead and get his preferred dressing on the next loaf. or a sandwich so that the next egg is not waiting and I don't burn it. Sorry if I'm not talking loud enough. And after I do this, I'm going to make sure he's good to go. And I'll show you guys how I take my puppy up for, or not my puppy, but my puppy up for a walk up and down the street. And of course, there's not enough room on this plate, which is another reason why it's good to wipe down your counters with disinfectant wipes or a disinfectant of your choice before you cook or do dishes. Make sure the chemical is dry so that you have room to do that. That's how I do that. And it's already probably time to flip the egg. In fact, it's probably burning. And sometimes the spatula is too big, but it gets the job done. I am going to get a different one. My pan is not large enough. Sorry, my pan was too small for that. And when I do bacon, I actually do it on the griddle. And then that way I can use the grease trap. And then I'll put my grease in the fridge so it'll harden. Take a knife and cut the slits in it so that when it freezes, it comes out a lot easier. I'll show that another time. I've already done that until this bacon grease is out. And again, I only use bacon for flavoring purposes. I'm not a big bacon eater or pork of any kind. I will eat it, I just prefer not to, and that's just my personal preference. And since I am cooking for the husband, I also cook for my dog. He actually gets more table food than he get, or more table food than he gets dog food, but he runs and he's very active, so I don't have to worry about him gaining weight. So let me get these sandwiches done and I'll get back. Okay, so the egg sandwiches are done and served, and my boy is also getting some scrambled eggs. He does love them. I do like to cook him eggs while I'm cooking for others, but it does need to cool down so he doesn't burn, so I'm going to go check on his water. So his water bowl outside is clean, and yeah, my attitude with that too is if I wouldn't want to drink out of it, I don't make him do it. And I do regularly bring it in, clean it at the sink. Usually it's just a quick rinse to get the algae off. I can't do this both-handed or with one hand, so let me go put this in his food bowl and I'll show you guys after I do. Okay, so his eggs are in his food bowl. So while I'm waiting for those to cool, I am going to clean up my mess a little bit. Again, molehills are easier than mountains. Even if you're not a chronic pain patient, it's always easier to take care of a few things instead of a bunch of little things. It's always easier to do 2 or 3 than do a mountain of them. So I'm going to clean up my mess real quick and wipe off my counters since there is grease on them. And that way they'll be easy to clean. Okay, so my dishes, even the ones I cooked with, are cleaned. Well, rinsed. And another thing is I don't like to holler for my dog. This comes in quite handy. Again, Walmart. It was actually in the craft section. But in case I don't want to holler for him. Sounds like he's inside. Maybe the hubs already got it. Whether he's in or out, I'll hear him. Let me go hunt him down. Ah, Hubs let him in. So he is chowing down on his treat. He loves eggs too. You getting your treat? Yes, he is a spoiled dog, but he deserves it. And there's another thing I want to show you guys. Give me just a moment. Okay, so something else I wanted to show you guys. You know, one of the big issues with chronic pain, shoes and socks. So, let me just get one of each pair that I have. And these are actually the brand Skechers. I love them. And I actually even used these two when I went to work. And there's only one pair that I got after I've stopped working. Forgive the bad. Again, my molehills. I'm attacking them today the best I can. Oh, but these are the kind of shoes that I buy. They don't have ties, and they're actually, let's see, make sure I'm getting them. They don't have ties, and they're actually kind of stiff along the sides so that you can easily, want to make sure I'm getting them, can slip them on, and they stay on. And believe it or not, I actually worked a pretty heavy laborious job, standing all day, lifting crates and boxes, and they worked well. Another Skechers brand, or Skechers shoe, are these kind, if you're getting them. They don't have the heels in the back, but they do have protectors up here, and they actually stay on pretty well. There were days where I did have to stand a little bit longer than I wanted to, and there's actually a little bit of an indent right here that helps keep them on. I wore them all the time whenever I worked, and they are so comfortable, and believe it or not, they do support. Another kind that I have is a similar style. They don't have the back, but they do, you know, they're similar setup as my other shoes. See if you can see that. They have a similar design, and they hold onto your heel very well back here so that they don't slip off. The only reason I'm not using these as much is because they are new, and I'm the kind that likes to use my shoes until they're done before I switch over. So when I'm getting dressed in the morning, this is easy. Get your sock on, slip it on. Sock on, slip it on. I hope you're seeing it. And because this part is stiff, the sides of them are stiff, they feel like regular shoes. They're supportive and they're secure like a normal tennis shoe would be. You don't have to worry about tying them. And I love them because of that. They're the only brand I'll get because of that. So here in a minute, after my boy eats, I'm going to show you how I take him for a walk up and down the street.